Hey everybody, welcome to Shield and Haven.
I'm Ava.
I'm Bonnie.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Daxon.
So we are 2 weeks in to our anticipated 1 year RV travel adventure. We're, well, actually 15 days in. Where have we been so far?
Well, we stopped first in Live Oak, Florida. Then we made our way up to Savannah, Georgia. Then we stopped for a night in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Then we went up to the Greensboro area in North Carolina. We stopped for a night at a friend's house. And then we...
Shout out to Chrissy. Go Bulls. Old teammate.
Then we came out to the Outer Banks. And we're on the coast now.
This was Mom's choice for a stop. What did we do here?
We did a bucket list item for me. I always wanted to see the Shackelford wild horses, and we got to do that, and a lighthouse, which is also a close second for me with things that I love to do and see. Lighthouses of just living on the coast of Florida, all of the seashores that I've been raised on, always loved the lighthouses. And this one was particularly special because it's the only black diamond lighthouse on the coast, eastern seaboard, is what they told us today. And so that was a pretty cool fun fact. And by diamonds, just the shape of how they painted the outside of the lighthouse. So we had a blast. It was a bucket list item. It was a lot to do. It was really, really, really a great stop for us because you get to go see the ponies, get really close to them, no closer than 50 feet.
Took a ferry out.
Took a ferry. Took the dog with us. So she went everywhere with us, and she has just been with us 24/7. It was her first time swimming in the waves, and then we got to ferry over and see the lighthouse. So
This was our first national park.
Yes, first national park. There was a lot of firsts that were happening and cooking on this trip. So
the dog is passed out on the floor over here. She is so tired.
We got to our campsite because it's the first time we almost tipped over our RV. I'm sure Colin will share that with you.
Yeah.
And we laugh now. It was very stressful and scary at first, but these are parts of the trip and adventure that you don't expect, and that as a team and as a family and learning to communicate in retirement and in transition and a whole new lifestyle, you learn and are humbled that we are better together.
So far, everything is working and doing pretty well, but we've had some pretty significant challenges. Within the first 48 hours of our trip, we had a fairly major incident. I'll probably show some pictures and stuff here. Care to elaborate on that?
First
First
48 hours.
major incident within 48 hours.
It's on your
Foot.
person.
On my
Oh, wait.
foot. Our first stop was the Hebners, and they work with some friends, and they both go to this spring. It's called the Telford Springs, and so they invited us to go with them, so we went, and it was super fun. There was this big rope swing. I went on it like 10 times, and then one of the last time, I swung and I jumped instead of just letting myself glide off, and when I jumped, the rope snapped back down and kind
It
of
was
just,
like his 122nd swing on the rope.
and then like it snapped back, which my hands fell off, and I landed in like 3 inches of water. So
From about 10 feet up.
yeah, and that did not feel good.
Yep, he immediately came up out of the water and said, "Oh, okay, I think I'm done." Handled it like a champ. I'm proud of you. Tried to tough it out overnight, but realized it was more than that, and his foot was broken in 3 places. So that was within 48 hours of this trip starting. Fortunately, we were at a wonderful place with the Hebners. We were able to go visit an organic farm called Full Circle Farm. I do have a Coffee with Colin episode. If I can figure out how to link episodes, I'll put that in the comments. But another Coffee with Colin episode with Austin. So that was a definite challenge. That was a huge hiccup in our plans. Daxon had been sleeping up in the bunk. Now he's out here on the pull-out couch. Thank God we have a RV big enough to allow for some maneuverability like that. And then we went to Savannah. Feedback on Savannah.
So I've always loved Georgia personally. Growing up as a Florida girl and going to see these old historic towns in Georgia, just loving the weather in the area. Savannah personally was not my most favorite spot we've ever been to. I'm a history person though. I loved the history in the area. We did a trolley tour actually. We found one of the local trolley tours, and that was super fun. We had a great guide, and as we were driving through, he pointed out like a couple of local restaurants in the area. So we had super good pizza afterwards. We went to one of
Vinny
the
Van
places.
Gogh.
Yeah, we went to one of the places he recommended. It was Vinny Van Gogho's. It was probably the best pizza, like top 5 best pizza places I've ever been to.
Mhm.
It was
really good.
really
Yeah.
good.
The trolley tour was interesting. The city itself, at least when we went in the summer, was very hot. Us being from Florida, we were kind of hoping for something I think a little cooler. And so we were a little underwhelmed. It was a little smaller than I thought. I know there's people that absolutely love Savannah. Nothing against it. Beautiful town.
It's charming.
Very charming. I'm
Yeah.
glad we did the tour. I'm glad we saw it. Check that off. Probably not in a big hurry to go back.
Definitely recommend the trolley tours if you just want to see the city in
Yeah.
like one day. And we definitely covered most of the city in the one tour. So.
Very pretty. Lots of homeless. The riverfront was neat. You could tell they're kind of revitalizing the area and some stuff like that.
I totally see why people get married there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we actually
beautiful.
saw a wedding.
In
Yeah,
one of the
cut to that.
squares. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
completely understand why people get married there.
Yeah.
And
But
they
it
have-
was good to be a tourist and then go to our next destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have one of the oldest theaters in the world. Not a movie theater like a
Stage.
stage. Not in the world, but in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the U.S.
Yeah, and that was cool for the kids to see because they've been so involved in theater.
We didn't
at
watch
Live
the
Oak.
show, but
So.
Yeah. We didn't stop and watch it, but yeah, that was a cool thing to see. So from there, bypass Charleston. If we had to do it over again, I'd probably go back and see that. Bonnie did want to do that, but we just kind of opted to continue on to Savannah. That was an overnight stop. That was our first use of a Harvest Host,
Yeah.
to Myrtle Beach.
which was in Myrtle Beach. Yes. From Savannah to Myrtle Beach, stayed in the parking lot of a church. It was lovely.
It was wonderful.
Shaded. We were kind of by ourselves. We were in a great location. We went out. This was Ava's 17th birthday. Her pick was Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So we
He
went
gave
out
me a
to the
couple
beach.
options, and I've heard of Myrtle Beach a lot, and being from Florida, we just never really have gone up the eastern seacoast, and I've heard a lot of good things about Myrtle Beach. So I heard that was an option, and I was like, hey, that sounds fun. And
Beautiful beach.
It's really nice.
It was the Myrtle
actually.
Beach State Park. Highly recommend it.
Yes.
I will probably be having lots of pictures and things cutting in as we're talking here, so you'll probably see something like that. But yeah, the Myrtle Beach State Park was absolutely gorgeous.
Myrtle Beach was high. I really recommend. Like, so as from Florida, I'm pretty picky about beaches because
Mhm.
we've been to a lot of them, and I think Myrtle Beach was definitely one of my favorites. We found that on the day we went, it was dog friendly, so we were able to
Yep.
take Kaylani. That was her first beach trip ever, and I think she liked it.
Mhm.
And it was everybody else's picture day.
Yeah,
That
they
was
said it had been
hilarious.
raining for like a week or so there. So there was literally like 7 families out there taking pictures. Like legitimate, we've all dressed up and are matching, taking pictures together. Probably going to be on a lot of Christmas cards this year.
Probably.
So after our overnight stop there, where did we head to next?
North Carolina to celebrate and visit with some cousins who were highly skilled athletes, and they were competing in the track nationals for AAU. Shout out to the Condren clan, and they did amazing.
BCA Athletics out of Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Yeah.
It's a family thing, but they've grown into a coaching business, producing some amazing athletes. Really cool to have that flexibility in our schedule. That's what RV life, I guess, is all about, right? Just being able to be like, hey, you know what? We're close enough. We're within hours of them, so we went like 4 or 5 hours inland, and we're able to support them and see Easton throw the javelin at the end. He also did long jump, which we missed, but we did see him do pole vault, where he
So him and his sister
received a gold medal, and his twin sister Cambry also threw the javelin, and she pole vaulted. And I think those were her two events.
And she became an All-American and was 4th in the country. So things like that are really cool that we have the
Yeah.
flexibility to be able to do that. Now, in the process of seeing all of these great things, the real is we also had a sink that backed up on the RV in the process of visiting with them. But we didn't know the cause of it. So we're on this learning curve and we're in this journey together. And I think some of us are learning how to be flexible in these real world things in ways that we've never had to be flexible before. And some of us
Yeah.
are learning to be patient with that flexibility as everybody else comes around. So it's been, I mean, you know, we had a broken foot within the first 48 hours. A sink that would not drain, and Colin
I could
spent
not figure it out.
hours.
I was in a profession in law enforcement of problem solving and handling issues, but this just seemed so much. I was so frustrated. I could not figure it out. Ended up being the simplest thing in the world. I spent hours trying to fix this drain, running a snake down it, vacuuming it, doing all the things, and
We
it
spent
ended
a
up
whole
being
night doing it.
yeah, just ended up being pulling a valve that I didn't see was there. The guy that sold me the RV told me about it. I just didn't remember. It's been so much, but ultimately, thankfully, able to figure that out.
I think the people along the way, I'll speak for myself, have really encouraged me. So being able to see family and get and be in an exciting environment with them and cheer them on, they were cheering us on too. They were loving on us and giving us encouragement and asking great questions. Being able to stop over with Chrissy and Colby, starting off with the Hebners, just being people is really what this is
Our
about.
family, being able to support them and them supporting us. Like we're there to support them in the Olympics, but then they come out to the campsite, and it was just really encouraging to
Yeah.
have them there.
Yeah.
And even random people when we locked ourselves out of our RV.
Oh yeah, in
Our
Savannah we
neighbors.
locked ourselves out. Discovered we
first.
probably want to have some keypad locks.
Our,
That was the first.
our neighbors right next to us said that we could. That they invited us into their RV, and so we just hung out in there until the locksmith came.
Yep.
Yeah.
And visited with them. They had a beautiful RV.
So they live in South Carolina,
Yeah.
and when we are swinging through South Carolina again, we're definitely gonna, reach out. So you get to meet really cool people along the way, and I think that's kind of what I'm learning the most
Yep.
is the experiences of the people that are right here in my immediate nuclear family, and the experiences that we get to have with new people and with friends and family, and be able to connect with them because we don't have to secure plane tickets and we don't have to secure hotels, and we're bringing our hotel with us, and they're hosting us inside of their homes too. It's just it's been such a ride. We've only been out for 2 weeks, but there have
Already
been lots
learning
of
a
ups
lot.
and downs.
Lots of ups and downs. Literally, almost flipped the camper. We made a reservation on a Hip Camp site, which is a app, right?
Yeah.
That you use.
Yeah, it's a great app.
I don't have that one. She has that one. So we made the reservation. We were going to go in there. Looked like a great little spot. Lucky's Lookout, which the guy's been really nice working with
Oh,
us.
he's great.
But I couldn't get the fifth wheel in. I was not comfortable. I tried 3 times and got to the point where the fifth wheel itself was just tilted so much, and maybe I could have made it, but it was really close. And if not, it was literally going to fall over. And if it fell, the risk wasn't worth the reward in that case. And what was cool in that was I was getting stressed. I said, Ava, can you grab the dog and get out? She did, no questions asked. Daxton's laid up, so he stayed in the back and stayed quiet. Bonnie jumped out. We have walkie-talkies we communicate with each other on. She talked me through it as well as we could. And then she finally goes, because I had already said, I'll try it one more time, and if I can't get it, I'm calling it. And she said, you know what? After we got to the point we all looked at it, she goes, I'm good calling it. And that was good for me to hear, because I want to push through. I'm used to persevering, but you don't have to in all things. This was one of those ones where it wasn't a make it or break it thing. We could figure something else out, and we did. We pulled over. We called it. Huge stress reaction. Fortunately, for me, like, this is just pulling everything. But I've got a little bit of training in how to deal with that kind of stuff. But my family was there through it. Hugely stressful. Almost flipped this thing, but we were able to pull over down the road and found the place that we're at right now, which is Cedar Creek Campground out on the Outer Banks. It's been great. It's got exactly what we need for while we're here, and we're making our plans for where we're going next, which we're going to have tomorrow's going to be a day off, which is something we've learned is important.
I'm kind of pushing for that.
A down
and
day, yeah.
I've been watching a lot of videos, and a lot of people encourage that. If you just pull to all the places without taking a rest, you will burn yourself out before you get started. And we're finding out why. We're finding out why that's such good advice, because all of the things that you don't expect and the unexpected, it's going to happen.
It's almost like it's biblical too, having a
Kinda crazy.
Sabbath. Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely, Colin is a go-getter by nature. He is, high, and he's coming off of a career that is high drag. High speed, low drag. So to have and help and to just kind of come alongside and say, okay, but we all need to rest. It's not just about you. It's about all of us. Like, and it's not just about us. It's about you too. So tomorrow we'll have a rest day before we head back out, and we're going to prioritize that. If that means that we spend a little bit of extra money in a place where we are a day behind who, because we really don't have anywhere to be right this second. So we're going to start prioritizing more things in regularity and schedule, because it's going to be helpful. We're playing the long game here. Yeah. So as we learn to do this, I don't think we'll enjoy it if we keep going so fast at breakneck speed. But all these things keep breaking and happening without us building in marginal time to rest as we deal with it. Because it is stressful, and he has come off of a very stressful career, and we've come off of, as a family, supporting that stressful career. So it takes a while for all of us to kind of relearn to communicate when you're together 24/7, right, Ava? It's a new situation. When you're in a brick and mortar house, there's a lot of more options.
You got to be a lot more flexible. Bonnie said she had a good thing for me when we were out at the Olympics. One day it was pouring raining, the next day it was brutally hot, and I was wiped out afterwards. We were out there all day. And
not the actual Olympics, the Junior Olympics.
The Junior Olympics,
we were in Paris.
Sorry.
Good clarification.
But like Bonnie was like, remember, you don't have a home to go back to. We still have to load everything up and leave tomorrow. So that was a good reminder. There's a lot more things like that to consider. But it's been pretty incredible overall. We're only 2 weeks in. On our way up to Maine is the goal. That's for our first pull, our long haul pull goal. Highs and lows. We'll go around the table. Highs and lows so far.
Start with her.
Okay.
No, start with me.
Okay.
Highs for like the whole trip.
Yeah.
Okay. High, being able to see friends in Live Oak. Low, breaking my foot. Another high, seeing our cousins play the Junior Olympics.
Yeah.
Another low, I wasn't able to go to the second day because my foot was killing me. Another high, seeing all the horses.
Yeah, horses were cool.
Wild horses.
High, low.
Oh, goodness. High, all the friends and family that we've been able to see. And then, obviously, the bucket list of the horses, for sure. Probably also spending my daughter's 17th birthday with her in a Van Gogh exhibit.
Oh yeah, the Van Gogh experience in South Beach and
in Myrtle
Beach.
I don't know that we would have prioritized that. I think we had to go many, many more miles away from home for that experience, and I got to watch her experience truth, beauty, and goodness in an exhibit as a 17-year-old on the road.
Absolutely a worthwhile thing to see if you have that ability, from what I hear. I didn't see it, but I saw their pictures and videos. It looked amazing.
Yeah, so definitely. And the low, obviously, our son breaking his foot. That's got to be with all the other stuff that we've been dealing with, transitioning as a married couple into this whole scene, right, fresh out of retirement. I mean, you retired and 26 days later we're on the road. So 36 days later, if I can do math. It's a little hard right now, but that was definitely the low so far. So what about you?
Yeah, I would say Live Oak was so fun to be with people who really got us. Like, it had been a while that I had laughed that hard with them. Like, I laughed so hard. It was just so fun to be around those people. Like, the Heapners, they're so amazing. And just friends who get you. Like, sometimes it's hard because not all of your friends agree with you on certain levels of maybe politics or just where you stand with something. So it was really nice to feel comfortable discussing and talking about that stuff without feeling judged and just laughing. And I gotta say, Myrtle Beach was hard second. That was probably one of my favorite stops so far. Being with my family, and then the Van Gogh experience, the Beyond Van Gogh, it's like a traveling exhibit, but in the US, I would highly recommend it. His paintings are like projected onto these like blank white screens, and they like move and change and shift, and you get to see like different aspects of each painting. Like I saw paintings that I had never seen from Van Gogh before. And it was really beautiful, and I thought it was really awesome. And like the music changed, and you could sit for as long as you wanted in the room. That was probably one of my favorites. And getting to spend the day with my mom, and then having everyone else join in was awesome. We got to go to a Krispy Kreme building for the first time. That was cool to watch all the donuts come out. That was really neat. That was a first. And then the beach, Myrtle Beach, was actually really fun. I loved that beach. That was really nice.
Lowe's?
Daxon breaking his foot has been, I mean, I can't even imagine for him, but I feel bad because we've had to, like, you know, he missed out on some of the, one more high, the Junior Olympics. Getting to watch my cousins was so fun, and I got to be there for the second day, and that was just amazing. I got to hang out with my aunt, and it was just a great time. I loved walking around and watching them. The pole vaulting was really cool. I think that was my favorite, like, sport to watch. But yeah, Lowe was probably Dax, poor thing, with his foot. And then almost tipping the RV was mildly terrifying. So, I mean, I wasn't even in the driver's seat. Like, I was out with the dogs, but it was pretty scary. And so, that was probably, but thankfully, nothing terribly terrible on my end of the spectrum, at least.
I would say highs for me has just been seeing all of us really coming together for everything. It's just been so special. It's been wonderful. It's been a big part of the encouragement from all of them when I retired, for us to be able to have these experiences together. To see wild horses on the banks of North Carolina, are you kidding me? I've never seen that before. That was amazing. Just seeing new cities, doing new things, being able enough to go off the beaten path on our way here and be like, saw a billboard for a place called Wilbur's Barbecue. Said it was rated #1 in North Carolina.
That was so
And just
good.
to go, yeah, let's go. And so we went
Hopped off the
probably
highway.
half an hour out of our way to go find this barbecue joint. It was amazing.
It
We have a
was.
video on that.
So good.
It was.
So yeah, obviously the lows everyone said. I underestimated how much I counted on him, and what a great help he's been in helping me to do things, and just he's been my right hand man on the farm and here. He was helping me to do everything outside the camper. So him being laid up has been a big adjustment. But so yeah, a low, but also a high in that we're working through it, and then the sink. Feeling almost defeated by that, but then a high in my wife suggesting, hey, why don't you sleep on it? And then the next day a solution presenting itself that turned out to be super easy. And then almost tipping the RV. It was terrifying. But then realizing I don't have to do this. We can wait, and backing out and finding something else. So this has been amazing so far. I smell Ava's banana bread cooking.
Smelling it for the past
Oh my
5
gosh,
minutes.
it
and
smells
this
amazing.
torture. I want to get it so bad.
That has been the one. My wife was like, I don't know if we should bring the bread maker or not. I'm like, we have extra tubs. We can just put it in a tub in the kitchen. By far, that has been the one thing that has been. I am so glad we did it. Was brought that bread maker, because they've made fresh bread. We've had fresh bread for sandwiches, for toast, for buns, for the hot
Sides.
dogs, for banana bread, which
Never
we're
bought
about
bread
to enjoy.
in a store yet because we have a bread maker.
Well,
So
yeah, we haven't bought bread from a store besides like bagels and
Yeah.
stuff in like a couple of years now that
Yeah.
we've been doing bread.
It tastes like home. I
Yeah.
would recommend if you're going to do
Good
something
thing,
like
yeah.
this, to bring something that reminds you of a comfort
Yeah.
that will help you to
Feel
remember
more familiar.
that
Yeah.
this is your new home. This is, and that's okay, you know. And I think that that was intentional, and I'm glad that we did it. And we also have canned goods from home and things that our friends helped us freeze dry and prepare. And there's some other touches here that were intentional to help all of us transition more smoothly. And that was just something that in prayer I felt needed to happen. So.
Yeah, we're using the Open Roads card, which is a fuel program. If you're going to be doing RVing, highly recommend that. Fuel has been way cheaper. Figured out how to use one of the weigh stations, weighed our whole setup. I feel pretty comfortable with all of that. Learning to tow this thing has been a big change. But it's going well. I'm glad I got the vehicle I got, which is an F350 dually, and it's pulling this thing just fine.
Well, and I would say, just to add on there, we're grateful for our tribe of people. We've got his parents back home opening mail for us that's forwarded to them right now. We've got Scott McLean, who has been on speed dial. We had Tyler, who helped us with the truck and the rig before we left. We have a great realtor who's keeping an eye on the house. Josh, who sold this to us, we know we could easily call him if we needed to for anything. There's just been so many beautiful people cheering us on. We've got,
Josh was great, by the way, in working through this. The title got held up for us to get on the road. We ended up missing being on the road for Bonnie's family reunion.
that was sad.
Kind of
but
a
it
bummer.
happens.
We wanted to make it out to Iowa, but we ended up delayed by like 20 days due to the title, which electronic titles, not a
Don't.
fan. It gives the state and the other companies involved way too much power and ownership over your stuff. So, yeah, that's my
Just
PSA
be
on
aware,
that.
you can pay it off and the bank won't release it, the lien.
Yep.
And we've experienced it twice now with two different sales.
Buying the truck and buying this RV.
Yeah, recently.
But we're here now. We're on the road.
That's
I'm
right.
excited to see what comes next. It's very much of a change, especially for me, being a guy that, in a leadership position that I held, I'm used to knowing what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, and at least what our likely outcomes are. So I don't even know where we're going to be 48 hours from now. Somewhere, probably Virginia.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. That's a hard thing. I mean, I'm struggling with it. I'm the one that we'd go on trips and I'd have a folder. And, I mean, holler if you hear me, ladies. You got the paperclip. Like, this is where the nearest hospital is. This is where we're going to go vacation. This is what it looks like. These are the extracurriculars we could do. This is exactly how to get there. I mean, I was a little over the top when we vacationed. So this is because we're running a company right now for, children and families out there. My daughter and I
Get
are
classically educated.
getclassicallyeducated.com. Come check us out. With two of our dear friends back home, I have really had to go hands off with a lot of this, and Colin and Dax have really been handling most of the logistics. I mean, he may have a broken leg, but his brain isn't broken. Foot, sorry. So, he's been really helpful, helping to plan parts of this trip, which
Yep.
I never would have let go to my 13-year-old and my husband.
Yeah.
I would have taken all of it and then probably
Yeah.
been stressed if it didn't work out. So it's amazing how God is working, and I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
And this has
thank you.
been something where in our marriage we've had to really learn how to re-communicate and strengthen. It's really making us stronger, and being able to be with these guys all the time has been helpful. So I jumped in there because I'm really proud of you. This
Thank
is not
you.
easy. Not knowing where you're going in the next 24 to 48 hours, making a decision. I mean, literally, when we almost tipped the camper, we had to pull to the side of the road. He had to have his visceral, shock
Stress reaction, yeah.
And then we got on the phones and figured out where we were going. So,
Yeah. I happen to be wearing a Black Rifle coffee shirt. We went to Black
That
Rifle
was fun.
in Savannah. If you get a chance to go through there and you're a coffee drinker, do it. Very cool place. Very law enforcement, military friendly. They put my patch on the wall from my department, which was cool. Peeling out of my police identity, and really doing what we said we were going to do. If you have a chance to do something like this with your family, do it.
it doesn't have to be for a year. You don't have to do it for a year. It's possible to do it for short trips, even like a month. But we really recommend it because the full pull away from everything and to reconnect, it's invaluable. You don't get these years back.
Yeah.
A lot of people are so focused beyond the child rearing years that they miss the connectivity. And this is where you build the foundation, and you don't get them back. We don't get mulligans.
Right.
So,
Any last thoughts? No?
Pretty much it. Thank y'all for listening.
My favorite part of this whole experience so far has been I've been kind of liking the uncertainty so far, which is not normal for me. I normally like to know
No, it's not.
exactly where we're going all the time. But the fact that we can just do whatever we want, like we had the option to go see the cousins, do their thing, or we could have come straight out to the coast. I was like, let's go see the cousins, and we were able to see Savannah. We were able to do Myrtle Beach for my birthday. Like, really feeling like this is the first summer where I really felt like free. Like, this is a very free summer. Like, we've been able to do whatever we want. We've been to at least 2 different coastline towns now, one in North Carolina and one in South Carolina. And then in Live Oak we went to the Springs, and it just really felt really fun, very like freeing, and we've been really connecting on a whole new level. Like,
Well, I'm going to take that beat as a sign that it's time to go and eat some banana bread. We'll see you all on the next one.